If we were to compress the entire history of our world into one book, humans would only represent a tiny part of a small chapter on the book's last page. Yet, there are many chapters in this book with missing pages, and one such chapter is titled, The Mystery of the Woolly Mammoth. Just as dinosaurs dominated the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, it can be said that, for a while, Earth was under the reign of the ancestors of massive, furry elephants. These animals, perfectly adapted to life on a snow-covered Earth, began to decline about 10,000 years ago for reasons still unclear. Then, around 4,000 years ago, the very last woolly mammoth breathed its last. These magnificent creatures, which seemed indestructible, vanished in such a short span of time. To understand why this happened, we need to dig into the clues left behind by these ancient beings. So, join me on this journey as we unravel the mystery of the woolly mammoth. To solve the mystery of their extinction, we must approach this investigation from the perspective of a detective or forensic expert. Let's start just as we would in a murder investigation, by examining the body. Now, I understand that unlike a typical murder case, we don't have a fresh body here. But don't worry, there's no need to panic, because mammoths were so widespread during their time that their remains are scattered across the globe. In fact, the largest number of mammoth bones have been discovered in various parts of the world. Furthermore, in August 2010, researchers unearthed the fossil of a baby mammoth in the permafrost of Canada's Yukon Territory. This fossil is regarded as one of the most well-preserved fossils ever discovered. It appears as though this mammoth died only a few days ago. Carbon dating revealed that this baby mammoth perished around 30,000 years ago when its body became trapped beneath permanent ice. Typically, when an animal dies, bacteria present in the body and oxygen in the atmosphere cause its tissues to decompose. This is why archaeologists today often find only the skeletal remains of dead animals. However, this body is so well preserved because it was sealed in an oxygen-free environment within the permanent ice. This means we can learn much more about the biology of mammoths from this preserved body than we would typically learn from just bones. For example, we can be more certain about their appearance, the color of their skin, the size of their ears and tusks, and virtually every part that usually decays over time. Well-preserved remains like these have led to genuine misconceptions among scientists in the past. For instance, there was a humorous incident when ancient Greeks discovered the fossilized skull of a mammoth. Just by examining the skull without any soft tissues, they assumed it was a one-eyed creature resembling a giant human, and that's how the myth of the Cyclops became well known. Fortunately, today's researchers have extensive knowledge about mammoths. Not just about their lives, but also about their extinction. Now that we have a mammoth body to examine, let's proceed to the next phase of our investigation, identifying the possible suspects. The most obvious and primary suspect in this scenario appears to be changes in the climate and environment. Mammoths were quite similar in size and appearance to today's elephants, with their large bodies, big heads, long tusks, prominent trunks, and muscular legs. However, there were also notable differences, the most significant being the thick fur covering their bodies. Modern elephants lack fur because they inhabit warm, tropical environments. To keep cool, modern elephants have larger ears than mammoths, which allows them to radiate body heat more efficiently. In addition, modern elephants have longer tails with some hair at the ends, which helps them swat away flies. Looking at a mammoth's body, you can deduce that they wouldn't have faced problems with heat or mosquitoes, as mosquitoes could not survive in their cold habitats. This also explains why scientists have never found a mosquito in Antarctica. Mammoths had smaller ears to retain heat and not lose it through their fur. So, it's clear that mammoths evolved exclusively for cold climates. Ironically, their greatest strength became their downfall. But how did this come to be? By studying fossils and rocks, paleontologists can learn about past climates and environments. For instance, they can analyze fossil isotopes, calcium rings on shells, or even the layers of permanent frost bogs to estimate historical climates. Based on this information, we know that after enduring millions of years of ice ages, the Earth's temperature began to rise approximately 14,000 years ago. For mammoths, which had evolved perfectly for cold environments, their large, fur-covered bodies made rising temperatures even more challenging. However, we can't jump to conclusions just yet. To substantiate this hypothesis, we need concrete clues, and one was found inside a mammoth's intestines. Yes, some mammoth fossils are so well preserved that even their stomach and intestines still contain their last meals. Fascinating, isn't it? By analyzing this, we learned that mammoths primarily fed on grass and small shrubs, meaning they were strict herbivores. When archaeologists examined plant fossil records, they discovered that as temperatures rose, plants began receiving more sunlight, moisture, and heat. This resulted in less space for grass, the primary food source for mammoths, to grow. Modern elephants consume between 150 to 200 kilograms of grass, small plants, shrubs, fruits, and bark each day. Hence, we can infer that mammoths had a similar diet, if not more. Could this sudden climate change be the reason behind the extinction of mammoths? Probably yes, but it is unlikely that this was the only cause. This mystery cannot be solved so easily. For every mystery there is another clue. Another possible cause for their extinction could be predators. Given their size, mammoths were essentially the tanks of their era. Just by looking at their massive trunks, it seems any animal would think twice before challenging them. However, many predators, like tigers, still hunt elephants in today's jungles. While a single predator may not be able to take down an elephant, this is why predators like lions hunt in packs. Similarly, prehistoric saber-toothed cats, which were far more powerful than today's lions and tigers, and dire wolves could have hunted mammoths. This is evident from mammoth bones that bear the marks of these predators' teeth and claws. Look at this mammoth rib bone marked with dire wolf teeth, or this pelvic bone with hyena bite marks. But take a look at this fossil. There are no bite or claw marks from any jungle predator, yet analysis indicates that a predator did hunt this mammoth. Its death wasn't caused by teeth or claws, but by a sharp tool. Yes, this mammoth was hunted by humans. Archaeologists have found numerous sites where both human and mammoth bones have been uncovered together. Additionally, many cave paintings show prehistoric humans hunting these massive animals. Early humans utilized every part of the mammoth. They made clothing from its fur and skin, built shelters from its bones, and crafted weapons from its tusks. In one large cave, records show the remains of 64 individual mammoths were found. Can you picture that? This literally suggests humans were the biggest predators of mammoths. So, did humans play a major role in their extinction? Well, welcome to humanity, where there's always an explanation for everything. But this isn't the whole story. More pieces of the puzzle are missing. Another clue comes from studying animal behavior in response to environmental changes. Considering all the previously mentioned facts, due to a shortage of food and an increase in predators, mammoths were forced to migrate much further to survive. They moved to areas where their lives were even more at risk, as these places were unfamiliar to them. This is why, eventually, all mammoths around the world became extinct, except for a few on small Arctic islands. Yes, we have another clue. Archaeological research on a small Arctic island revealed that about 4,000 years ago, a small herd of the last mammoths managed to survive away from climate changes and predators. However, due to limited resources on the island, these mammoths succumbed to malnutrition and various genetic diseases. Finally, around 3,600 years ago, the last mammoth on this island also closed its eyes forever. So, when we consider all these facts, the answer becomes clear. Climate change, a lack of resources, and diseases caused the extinction of woolly mammoths. But there's still one last piece to connect in this case. Harvard University's geneticist Dr. Church, renowned for his work in genome sequencing and gene editing, believes that by extracting DNA from well-preserved mammoths, we could clone a mammoth. Think about what that means. The case could be reopened. This means we might be able to bring mammoths back to life in the future. What are your thoughts? If it becomes possible, should we do it? Should we clone mammoths, or is it a bad idea? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you learned something new from today's video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.